But really where your business is valued is on the multiple that you get. So if your EBITDA is $1 million and you're worth 3 times EBITDA, you're worth $3 million. If your EBITDA is $1 million and your multiple is 9, you're worth $9 million. It's exponential. A multiple in a life comes down to connection, what you actually do, what your purpose is, and it comes down to, do you leave a mark?
Because we know we've got 5 generations in the workplace, 6 generations alive. And so the first time ever, we have to get interested not just in what makes each generation tick, but perhaps more importantly, what ticks them off.
Sticky messaging happens in 3 things: meetings, training, and coaching. Notice these are all face-to-face. If you want something to stick, it's not gonna happen initially through an email.
The yellow dots are in this room. You know how I know that? Because this is a freaking PPE mastermind, and there's an energy in this room. I can feel it up here. Can you feel it out there?
You know, you love to see it when young people are entrepreneurial and successful. I mean, Austin's having one record month after the next. And
taking each of the 3 ways to grow your business, to get more customers, to get them to pay more for your product, and either use your product more frequently or get more referrals for your product. So
right downtown in this little small town, and he happened to have some money in his pocket.
And what he said, which I thought was just put so beautifully, was, for it makes a great deal of difference whether a man is lengthening his life or his death.
So what are some of the brands that you've been associated with as you've been traded around the league?
Let's see, New Balance, Puma, Diesel, UGG, Under Armour.
We were recently admitted to call it Alzheimer Moonshot, which is funded by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and others. The researchers that we're working with, they're very excited because they say this is much easier to do than any other method. It is cheaper and more accessible. We're talking about tests that can be done for less than $100 overall in volume.
What will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream
today. Principles, period, don't change. Strategies get adapted. Tactics change a little, but really this is only application.
As you already know my background, you know, I do content creation, I'm a speaker, I've been doing it for over 15 years, got over 2 billion views, 25 million followers across platforms.
I learned from one of my mentors, and I forgot this, but a great quote: you can lose your money, but if you keep your integrity, someone will always back you.
When you click the share button, the repost, remember it only goes to 1% of your audience, but it sends a very strong signal to the algorithm that this content was interesting enough to me that I'm willing to share it with my audience, even though you're not going to share it with my audience.
First, the answer that he gave me to my question could easily double or even triple my business.
It was
one of the things I really liked was violate as many industry norms as you can.
Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one's looking. Who's willing to stand up and say, hey, we don't put decimal points there. Hey, we have safety protocols for a reason. You need a culture where people see something, it's okay to say something. You need a culture where little things aren't going to fester and turn into big things.
I ran a classified ad. The offer was in the classified ad. I never had this experience of actually creating creative over here to drive traffic to an offer over here.
We have the CTO of Microsoft Global Supply Chain in the room. That's a big deal.
Because, the things we're doing are life and death things. And, if one of you were kidnapped and taken hostage in a foreign country, my job is to save you and not get you killed.
If the conversion rates aren't working out, then great, let's work on that problem. If it's something downstream related to the actual outcome that we're looking for, if we broke those things down and set the expectations and expect them to comply with it, but yet somehow we're not getting the result that we were anticipating, that's not their fault. It's now a fault of the system. What is it?
So this is a recording studio. and when we purchased it, we actually purchased from Gloria Estefan, is when it was Miami Sound Machine, they recorded the first 8 record albums right here in the studio.
When I was building my business, I took all the medication I needed to stay focused. When I sold my business, I got off all the medication.
And I think the lesson is to be authentic, to hold your integrity when things get tough. Love what you do and love who you're doing it for. You know, I love doing it for my family.
You have to start out with understanding a little bit about who you are and what you want. What are the results that you're trying to get to, right? And then from there, you know, good ideas can be fostered from that.
How much money you really need? $1 million, $2 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, $1 billion, 10 billion. That's the thing about money. We always want more, no matter what it is.
There's only 85 long flights in the U.S., okay, that are within 15 minutes of a major city. So I have 85 routes that are over 2.5 hours to 4 hours long in the U.S. We got 75% of those.
We have this ability, because we're in the body, to be aware of whatever position, posture we're in. We can tune in and just noticing we're breathing in, breathing out.
That I told them a little bit about the Mastermind and about self-growth and how it would be great to hear a story of how someone took a $10 million business and made it worth $1 billion. Because someone in here needs to do that. A lot of people here have $10 million businesses.
One of the deals brought in the country's largest health system, 190 hospitals. It's working many millions of dollars and tough, rather than really marketing in an area and having a licensee, so to speak, have skin in the game.
So as we start to think about ourselves, our employees, I know as Jim was talking, I was thinking about my own children and the example that I set for them. We need to give this some significant consideration.
It's about understanding that if you give the people the right encouragement, then they can do extraordinary, amazing things beyond even your expectations.